Good morning and welcome to the Dubai Autodrome, and well, good morning, good afternoon and good evening wherever you're watching around the world. I know we have fans across the globe as far as South Africa, the United Kingdom, India, and of course right here in the United Arab Emirates. Welcome to round 3 of the DSBK Middle East Championship. This weekend we're back at the Dubai Autodrome using the national circuit configuration. It's just 3.56 kilometers in length, so we're not using the full Grand Prix circuit configuration. Instead, we are using the shorter version where we take the car on the back straight, through the club link and back onto the main part of the track. 2 races today. The first one will take place later on this afternoon at about 1 p.m. local time, and then the second race takes place at 3:30. But before we do that, of course, we have to set the grid up for our first race of the day. It's a 25-minute session here. The clock has already started to count down, and the riders now making their way onto the track. And of course, there's big news this weekend because Simon Reed has a brand new bike for this weekend. On the first 2 rounds, he had a completely different bike, but this time he's really going to take the fight straight to the Qatari, to Cedar Salati. Of course, has had a very busy couple of weeks, not just racing here in the United Arab Emirates, but of course racing in Qatar as well in a very, very competitive series, but not as competitive as it is here at the DSBK Middle East Championship. Our first riders are going out now. We have a total of 18 that have taken to the track so far. We might expect that number to grow ever so slightly, though, as more start to work their way out, as it looks like Cedar Salati, the man who's taken 4 wins from 4 in the modified category, is the first out there. Firas Abughanib returns to the championship after taking a break 2 weeks ago from the Yas Marina circuit, where of course we made history here, as did Nasser Sayed, the man behind the DSBK Middle East Championship. Was working a lot during the off-season, was Nasser trying every avenue he could to get us racing at the home of Formula 1 racing here in the United Arab Emirates in Abu Dhabi, and after so many years of everyone else trying, he managed to do it, and what a historic event it was, not only for just us racing there at the Yas Marina circuit, but also for Hanan Suleiman, who is currently out on track on our Yamaha R6, the number 71, the first female representing the United Arab Emirates, took to the track for the very first time, and it was great to see her. And now there are some interesting other pieces of information as well. So not only does Simon Reed have a new bike, his old bike is actually with the is now been renumbered to the 88, which is shown as 22nd at the moment, because also we have 22 riders who have taken to the track. Shashanka is now a newcomer to the championship and is using Simon Reed's old bike, but has been reclassified now as a super stock bike instead. The other thing to note as well, Saskia Totaro did the first 2 rounds in the modified category, but this time round, this weekend in round 3, he will actually be in the super stock category, so he'll be a little bit more competitive in this round, and he'll feel a bit more comfortable as well doing it. He did race in the modified for a couple of years, but back now with the super stock category. Tom Robertson as well, who graduated from the rookie category last season, up now into the super stock category and really enjoying his time out there. But right now, the first couple of laps are coming in. The quickest so far, 1:31.008. With the quickest sector 1 time is Qatar's very own Cedar Salati on his Yamaha R6. Manuel Parra is up next on his super stock in second on the 34. Simon Reed, though, in 3rd position at the moment on the 15 bike. Then we have Saskia Totaro on his Kawasaki ZX6R in 4th. Firas Abughanib, who said return to the championship this weekend on his Yamaha R6, lines up 5th. Kalfan Akabi, the highest of the rookies so far, and certainly one to watch out for as well, is Kalfan. He was very quick around the Yas Marina circuit, and he seems to be, over the past 2 weeks, he's really picked up the pace as well, and is taking up some real estate in the top 10 with some of our more experienced riders here in the DSBK Middle East Championship. And of course, we've seen rapid growth in the championship as well. And of course, it is bringing in a wealth of talent from not just the GCC, but around the world as well. As you said, we have a very quick Qatari in Cedar Salati, who races in Qatar. Has also done rounds in the WSBK back in 2016, did a full championship there. Has been a joker rider in the Moto2 category as well. He's here with us, and we've got Simon Reed, who is doing a full campaign next year in British Superbikes in the Superstock 1000. And if you recognise the name Reed, well, of course, he's son of Brian Reed, 5-time champion of the Isle of Man TT, with Simon's father. And of course, Simon looking to continue the legacy, and it's just the sheer amount of talent that we have here in the DSBK Middle East Championship. The season gets bigger and bigger, and the names get bigger and bigger as well. So does the grid, up to 22 riders here this weekend. I think we had 16 last time at the Yas Marina circuit. We started with 14, and every race weekend so far, Nasser has been able to get the attention of more riders and bring them on board for one of now the most competitive championships on two wheels in the Middle East. This is qualifying to set the field up for the DSBK Middle East Championship. Sida Salati is still the man to beat now with a 1:29.888. Now Simon Reed is up there into second with a 1:31.022. He's 1.1 seconds from the leading Qatari on the number 11. Saskia Totaro on the number 5 is currently third and is leading the super stock category ahead of Manuel Parra. So it looks to be Manuel's going to have a bit of a tougher challenge here this weekend. Very quick last time out at Yas, and very honest with his starts as well. He said, the one thing I can't get right is the starts. And of course we saw that mega start as well from Tony Garvin, who will sit a bit further down at the moment because he's currently now in 6th position. He had a fantastic opening lap at Yas Marina a couple of weeks ago, and he's looking for repeat success. And we figured out that the key to success here is grabbing the position that has the shade. And of course, well, with the shade of the grandstand, it looks like a lot of the riders will have shade when they line up on the grid to be a 3x formation. Now that is Sida Salati, who's come into the pit garage already. And now is that the session done for him already? Mind you, while the weather is getting cooler here in the United Arab Emirates, it's still very humid outside. You can see the humidity everywhere you look, and it's very humid on track as well, which causes the track, of course, to be very slippery in comparison to what we'd have on a sort of a drier day. Now, Saskia Totaro is coming in the pit lane as well, so 2 of our top 4 have come into the pit lane. As we look at Scott Francis here at the moment, one of our handful of rookies who had a great fight last time at the Yas Marina circuit with Hanan Suleiman. As Firas Abughanam now inside the top 5. Tom Robson up into 8th place. Then we've got Shashanka on his first time out here in the championship. Not classified as a rookie due to his experience, but up there now inside the top 10, actually 10th, just behind Mohamed Shamsia, another one of our graduate rookies from last year's championship. As more riders now try to edge closer to the man that leads this session here. Sida Salati, the Qatari, leads by 0.4 of a second. I think Simon Reed might be just trying to settle in onto the bike now. Of course, a brand new bike for this weekend for Simon Reed. As he said, he's got a 1:33.45, so he's getting closer to the Qatari. But with the experience that Saeed has, it's going to be a very, very tough ask. Lionel Henry up into 21st, and Yuri Nekrasov in a very unfamiliar position, down in 22nd at the moment for the super stock rider. Now that is a very unfamiliar territory for Yuri Nekrasov. He's usually up within the top 3, but maybe he's taking a bit easier here, but then it could be quite slippery from out there as well in these humid conditions. Here is the number 3, that is Munad the Goji. There from him. We just saw a quick glimpse there of Mithin on the number 10 bike on his Honda CBR 600RR, the sole Honda in the field. We also have a Triumph Daytona 675 as well. And it is Sharvin who is on that bike. And look who's come back out. Sida Salati has seen the lap times come closer to him, and he wants to build that gap a little bit more. He wants to keep that pole position to himself, and he wants to put as much time as possible between himself and Simon Reed as the 15 and 34 rid. Manuel Parra now leads the way for the super stock category, getting ahead of Yuri Nekrasov and Saskia Totaro. Totaro circulating once again as well here at the Dubai Autodrome. Great to see Ivan Martinelli back in the championship as well. Haven't seen him for a couple of rounds, but here he is back in what is one of the most competitive championships on two wheels in the, not just the UAE, but of course around the GCC, the DSBK Middle East Championship. Of course, the brainchild of Naseed, who is here. And I spotted him on the website as well, and after talking to him earlier today as well, I think that itch to get back riding again has not gone. I think he still has the itch to hop on a bike and ride with some of the best in the region. And maybe, who knows, we might see him back out later on this season. It'd be great to see him back in the championship as well. He's a very strong competitor in the previous iterations of the DSBK Middle East Championship, and always one to watch out for here. Here's the number 20, signaling to the riders around him that he's slowing down as he makes his way around the national circuit configuration. Now, interesting enough, that was through turns 1, 2, and 3. He was slowing down. That's a bit too far away from the pit lane to signify to riders that I'm slowing down, come through. But of course, everyone here has to play their part in safety and to make sure that everyone is safe, and to warn them as well, as much as you take your hand out and say, look, I'm slowing down, I'll stay off your line. Please go through. But there you just saw a quick glimpse of Siyad Al-Salati. There he is on the inside and onto the back straight here. With just over 12 minutes remaining on the clock, here's a gap of 0.4 of a second between himself and Simon Reed, who currently sits in the pit lane. Not too many riders circulating at the moment. We only have about 10 riders on track. Siyad Al-Salati. We have Satsuki Totaro, Manuel Parra has just gone out of the pit lane. Yuri Nekrasov, who we're actually looking at right now on the number 20. It looks like he is on his cool-down lap here and will be making his way into the pit lane. Firas Abu Ghanem has gone back out. Shashanka is still circulating. Moshin is circulating on the number 17. Dmitry Kuchnov is slowly working his way through the field, but he's got some tough competition here with more rookies entering the championship. Kalfan Al-Khabi currently leads the way up in 7th position as well. A magnificent ride from him so far to really be up there with some of the more veteran riders that we have in the DSBK Middle East Championship. But it just proves how competitive this championship really is. And of course, the goal here is to make it as big as European series, including stuff like BSB, where of course we'll see Simon Reed racing in 2025. A bit of a late start for him as well. It started in May next year. But of course, plenty of downtime, plenty of time for him as well to get used to the bike and of course get some much needed laps in, although doesn't really need it. He's already pretty quick enough as it is. But of course, the more track time, the better. And that's of course what Simon Reed is preparing himself for. But here at the DSBK Middle East Championship, building on each and every week we go racing here, and it just gets better and better every weekend. We have more riders, more talent, and of course the best riders from around the world, not just here in the GCC, and a very intercontinental champion it is as well. We've got riders from South Africa, Ireland, Qatar, India, right here in the United Arab Emirates, and much, much more. It's a huge paddock, and Nasser Said has done a fantastic job of building this championship up from a few rounds last season to a full-fledged championship. And of course, what we'll try and do is we'll try and get him up in the booth here during the races to get his insights and see how much he misses racing here, not just at the Autodrome, but with some very close friends as well, who are all still circulating on track. There is Satsuki Totaro on the number 5. New bike for him this weekend as well, as he changes category from the modifieds down to the super stock, where he feels a bit more comfortable. And on the plus side as well, he'll be a bit more competitive as well, which is something that he really wants to do. He really wants to fight for a podium. He doesn't want to settle for third. He wants to be on the top step of the podium. As through he goes. He goes third fastest at the line there with a 1:31.082. And actually he was third fastest at the line last time round. But that is, well, that was his best lap time. Last time was a 1:31.614 as he gets stuck with some traffic as they circulate as well. Shashanka, though, coming across the line now, or we should be, unless he's coming into the pit lane. He comes across the line now on the 88. Of course, that's Simon Reed's old bike from round 1 and round 2. A very quick bike indeed is that Kawasaki ZX6R. Now with a new number on the front of it as well. So still circulating, Sharvin on his Triumph Daytona 675. Personal best last time round, a 1:37.340 for Sharvin. So currently in 14th, but more importantly, he's third overall in the modified. So there's a total of 4 modified bikes. We've got Siyad Al-Salati, Simon Reed, we've got Sharvin, and we have Johan, who is down in 20th at the moment, but currently sat in the pit lane, doing some final tweaks there to the South African's bike. And he'd like to get back out there and up with the rest of the modifieds as well, as Dmitry Kuchnov loses out. Down into 16th position goes Dmitry. And he's currently sat in third overall in the rookies here. but he'll line up alongside a, well, what looks to be, so he's currently 16th at the moment, so he'll line up alongside two other rookies, because he's got Hanan Suleiman and Abdullah Alwan, who also joins the championship here this weekend, another newcomer. Here is the current session leader and provisional pole sitter, all the way from Qatar, who was racing there 1 week ago. And I swear he told me when we were racing down at Yas that he wouldn't be with us here this weekend, that he's very busy, because he's not just doing the Qatari Championship, he's also doing the DSBK Middle East Championship, because he knows how competitive it is here, and he knows how good the talent is, and he wants to stay with the best in the region. And of course, he is one of the best in the region as well, is the Qatari, who is also doing driver coaching for the next generation of riders from the GCC, and offers his insights wherever he can, as he'll make his way through turn 16 here. Let's see if there's an improvement. There's no yellow times, but he was a 1:29.373, so he extends the gap up to 9/10 of a second. And Simon Reed, well, is getting back out there with 7 minutes left on the clock. The Irishman back out in second at the moment with a 1:30.345. As a few other riders, there is Johan there on the number 18 now, currently in 20th position. He's moved up the order inside the top 20 now, ahead of Lionel Henry and Scott Francis. We have Dagoji also moving up the order as well. Now, Mohamed Shamsir has not come across the line on the 39 bike. Now, has he stopped somewhere on track? Do we have a local yellow anywhere? Now, I can't quite see if there's anything popped up on our timing screens. As there is Simon Reed on his brand new bike for this race weekend here for VME Valves. Of course, VME Valves here, one of the gold sponsors here for the DSBK Middle East Championship. A number of sponsors as well, including CHS, a platinum sponsor, fan code streaming partner, Big 106.2, our radio partner here for this weekend. NKN Media, another media partner. Milwaukee, a tool partner as well. Great to see them here back in the DSBK Middle East Championship as well. GP Oil, a lubricant partner, and our apparel partner as well, Alicia Apparel. I'm pretty sure you can grab yourself some apparel if you head down to the DSBK paddock area. Of course, our associate partners as well, SF Entertainment, New Dawn, and Larix Water as well. Great to have a massive grid here as well of 22 riders. It's been quite some time since we've seen such a massive field. And also for those of you watching at home, you can see on the left-hand side of your pictures, not just the best lap, not just how much time we have left on the clock, which is 5 minutes remaining. You can also see that each class is color-coded. So yellow, the top two, and you can see 14th and 20th. As we see the number 18 right now. Those are the modified riders, and the majority of the field is actually coming to the pit lane. The orange numbers, those are for the super stock category, and for the red numbers, those are our rookies. And you can see just how far up the order Khalfan Al-Khabi is. A fantastic ride from him again this weekend on the number 89 with a 1:33.829. He's just under 4/10 of a second from Firas Abu Ghanem, who's been racing with us for a number of years in the DSBK Middle East Championship and previous iterations as well. So great to see how competitive the rookies are here in this incredibly competitive series, which of course is building up every single year. Scott Francis, one of the few riders still circulating, a few of the rookies still circulating. Dmitry Kuchinov, of course, as well, still circulating, wants as much track time as he can get to ensure he's up to speed, because he sees the bigger picture here. One day he would like to be the champion of the DSBK Middle East Championship, but with the wealth of talent that we have, it's going to be a very tough ask here. But Dimitri's constantly improving every single race we can, and it's great to see him also consistently out there, pushing as hard as he can every single time. That Firas Abu Ghanem off to the right-hand side, indeed it is. Very easy to spot Firas because he has that very vibrant orange jumpsuit. Here's Simon Reed, and he has his friendly rival tucked in behind him as well. So interesting enough, when these two stick together, we see some very interesting things happen here. So Simon Reed is leading the two leaders. Firas Abu Ghanem moves offline to allow the quicker riders through. Back with Johan Kraus. in the on the number 18, excuse me, currently circulating in 20th position. Families watching back home in South Africa. No, it might be a bit early though for them. Actually, no, how far back is South Africa? What, about 2-3 hours, I think, time zone. So it's probably just gone about 7:30 or 8 in the morning for the South African fans. As back there with Simon Reed and Seydar Salati, our top two at the moment, our top two championship protagonists as well, as they move on the inside of Scott Francis. Now this would delay Seydar Salati as he's caught Scott through the club link, and that's not where he wanted to be behind him either. He would like to have been a lot closer to Simon Reed, excuse me, as Scott is really holding up Seydar Salati here at the moment. As the Qatari moves to the inside, he's going to the pit lane. No, he stays out. 2.5 minutes left on the clock here. Seydar Salati still the session leader by 9/10 of a second over Simon Reed, who finds Johan on the number 18, and now Seed's got another bike, but it looks like Simon's trying to break away here and see if he can get a quick lap in here with just under 2 minutes remaining on the clock. The man who will move on next season to the British Superbike, the 1000, he will enter the 1000cc category and will contest the entire 2025 season. He's come here because he knows how competitive the DSBK Middle East Championship is, and has come across to stay with and challenge the best there is in the region. As he makes his way through, and Seydar Salati dropping back from him now. Let's keep an eye on the sector timings here for Simon Reed. Not purple through sector 1. He has gone quicker compared to Saeed, but he's gone 2.3 seconds quicker through sector 1. So I think Seydar Salati might be on a cool-down lap here. I think he might know that his position so far might be comfortable, but Simon definitely has enough time for an additional lap here as he makes his way through the bowl and up through turn 15, down towards turn 16 here. Now, the good news is he's got clean air in front of him and he's got clean air behind him as well. No one to worry about here, no other modifieds, no other rookies, no super stocks. So this is the lap that he needs to get it nailed down. He needs to dial it up all the way to 11, and he's just done a 1:30.024 on that lap. He was green through sector 2, so he does close the gap up, but it's 6/10 of a second, and Seydar Salati decides to stay out as well. So Saeed is going to keep a close eye on Simon here to ensure that he stays in a pole position. But let's see what Simon Reed can do this time round. No traffic for either of them. They've only got each other for company for the time being. They've also got Firas Abugani, who's just going to cross the line, and Muniab Degoji. Johan on the number 18 has also gone through, and Scott Francis on the Yamaha R6 is still circulating, but he's just come in the pit lane, so we have just 4 bikes left, and 2 of them are fighting for the top position here. They are looking for pole position. So far, it's Qatar's Seydar Salati on the number 11, and there he is. But let's see Simon Reed, what can he do? A 43.381, he was 2/10 of a second quicker compared to the Qatari in sector 1, but what about sector 2? As Simon Reed works his way through the bowl, out through the club link. Best lap down on lap 8 for the Qatari with a 1:29.373. Sector 2 with 28.507 here for Simon Reed, so he's gone quicker again, and he's gone about 8/10 of a second quicker compared to, 8/100ths of a second quicker compared to Seydar Salati. But through the final corner now will come Simon Reed. Does he take pole position at the line? He closes it down to 4/10 of a second, but Seydar Salati has another pole position here at the Dubai Autodrome, and that's the ideal position to start in as well. We'll be back to the 3x3 formation here. As Randy, one of our expert marshals here, waves the checkered flag to bring an end here to the qualifying session. And there is your pole sitter and the man that will line up alongside him as well as he slows down. And as always, you'll see the two here have a quick chat on the bikes. No clue how they hear each other, but every time these two get together on the track and they're on their cool-down lap, whether it's a race or qualifying, big thumbs up there from to each other. And that's the sportsmanship between the two of them. And you can see Saeed there. He knows the gap has come down now, and he knows that Simon has gotten quicker on that new bike as well. Saskia Totaro, though, will line up alongside them, the first of the super stocks. with Yuri Nekrasov alongside Manuel Parra and Firas Abou-Ghanem will share the second row of the grid. And then our first rookie, Qualfying Al-Khabi, will line up alongside Tom Robson and Tony Garvin in 7th, 8th and 9th respectively. Then row 4, Shashanka, Moshin and Mohamed Shamsia will line up on row number 4, with Ivan Martinelli, Sharvin and Mitin lining up on row number 5. Dmitry Kuchnov, Johan Kraus and Hanan Suleiman will share row number 6, with Abdullah Alwan, Munir Abdelgoji and Lionel Henry sharing row number 7. And then the final row of the grid will have Scott Francis on the Yamaha R6. And there you see the classification for qualifying here for the first session of the day for the DSBK Middle East Championship. What a session there from Seed Al Salati, Simon Reed and Saskia Totaro, your top 3. First race here will start local time here in the United Arab Emirates at 1 p.m. And of course, race 2 will take place later on in the afternoon at 3 p.m, where we hope the humidity won't be as high as it has been this morning, because it's been very wet outside. Sorry, it's 3:30 p.m. will be race number 2. But there he is, our pole sitter once again here in the DSBK Middle East Championship. And what an epic qualifying session it has been once again here for Seed Al Salati and Simon Reed. Fantastic effort as well from our rookies, Qualfying Al-Khabi on the Yamaha R6 to start on the third row of the grid. There is Saskia Totaro, who we're delighted to be on the front row of the grid. Not unmodified this weekend though, but on a super stock. Still as quick as ever is Saskia Totaro. And you can see there the left-hand side, you can see his racing resume. Not just raced here, but around Europe as well as South Africa. Saskia Totaro. And there you see Simon Reed working his way into Parc Ferme. And Johan Kraus working his way into Parc Ferme as well. One of the last 4 riders there at the end. Actually 5 riders, because it's Seed Al Salati, Simon Reed, Firas Abou-Ghanem, Johan Kraus and Munir Abdelgoji who were still circulating. So why don't we check out some highlights from this first on-track session for the DSBK Middle East Championship.